Hi, my name is Francis O'Reilly. Today's September 4th, 2007, the day after Labor Day, and right now it's about 9 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. I'm an amateur telescope maker, and I'm about to make a pitch lap. I've been working on an optical flap project for several months now, working as I can at the end of a long business day. And it's come to the point now where I've finished all my fine grinding with my 3 optical flats, and it's time to make a pitch lap. This evening I'm going to talk about the first step of making a pitch lap. It's really pretty simple. What do we need? Well, we need some pitch. I personally prefer Gogol's 73. I've ordered some, it isn't in yet, so I'm going to do some preparatory steps prior to making the pitch lap. We need a substrate upon which the pitch lap will be made. In this instance, I've got 2 7-inch plate glass blanks. I believe they're plate glass blanks, which for some reason were apparently cemented together. I purchased these in the mid-90s at Stellafane. I've got actually 2 sets of them. And I'm going to use that as my substrate. It's a very, very solid substrate. It does have some chips in it, but for purposes of making a pitch lap, that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to have to clean off the substrate, and I'm going to use turpentine for that and some paper towels. In order to make my pitch lap, I've purchased a mat. Actually, I've got a couple of these I've purchased from a firm, I believe it's called Perfect Pitch Lap. They're relatively inexpensive. And then I will also use one of my 6 surfaces of the optical flat to actually press out the lap. But tonight, I'm just going to spend a little time cleaning my substrate. I'm working on top of the ubiquitous barrel, and on top of my barrel I have placed a plywood cover about 30 inches in diameter and covered that with newspaper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my turpentine, pry it open. It's set because it has to be pried open with a screwdriver for safety's sake, because it is poisonous and you don't want kids getting a hold of it. This is pure gum spirits turpentine. I'm going to just pour a little directly on top of my substrate. Close the top again. Keep the top closed. When in doubt, the default mode for the top should be closed. Move everything off the top of the table, including my screwdriver. And now this particular substrate had a little pitch on it already. And as soon as I put the turpentine on, that dissolved the pitch and it came right off. Turpentine and pitch don't mix very well, and when turpentine and pitch are mixed, only one survives, and it's usually not the pitch. Cleaned off the top, just gently scrubbed it, scrubbing around the edges with a paper towel that's got some turpentine on it, cleaning up pretty nicely. I want to make sure that I clean out. There's a couple of chips in this substrate, no big deal for my purposes, as I've said. But I just want to clean out any residue that's in here, any oils, anything else. Turn it over. I want to get both sides. I actually used this substrate to do a little grinding on my optical flats at one point, just to grind off some of the tooling marks that had been left over from when the optical flats, from when the blanks rather, were made. I want to get this clean. I don't want anything on it, not for any other particular reason that the cleaner the surface is, the better the pitch adheres to the surface. The turpentine rather, will eventually evaporate off. Tonight I'm just going to scrub it off a bit. As this tape progresses, the next step is going to be to melt the pitch and to pour the pitch lap, then to press the substrate onto it. Ultimately we'll be hot pressing, and in the not too distant future we'll be grinding with it. That's all for tonight. Oh, no, I said that's all for tonight, but I misspoke. Something you have to be very aware of: spontaneous combustion. I have rags that have turpentine on them. Don't just throw them in the garbage. They could ignite. Keep them in a well-ventilated place and set them out for the garbage men to pick up, but don't put them in an enclosed garbage pail, because if they spontaneously combust, you're going to have a fire. You certainly don't want to have that happen while you're at home. It would not be a good thing. If you live in an apartment, make appropriate arrangements to have the rags that you've used cleaned. I would strongly advise against using any sort of a cloth rag. The tendency is not to throw them out. If they're impregnated with turpentine, it's likely they will catch on fire. So keep that in mind. With that being said, good night. Today's September 13th, 2007. I've ordered my pitch and it's come in. I've received from Tom Moulton at gotgrit.com 2 kilograms, 4.4 pounds of Google's 73 pitch. Google's 73 pitch is a refined pitch product, still made from pine pitch or possibly balsam, but much more refined, that I'm going to be using in making a pitch lap for the 12.5-inch mirror that I will be polishing. It comes in 1 kilogram containers. This Google's was made, or sold actually in the U.S. by Meller Optics, who I believe is Google's primary distributor in the U.S. Google's is a Swiss company, and they export their pitch from Switzerland to Meller Optics. Now, if you try to go to Meller Optics on the internet, you're going to find, if you Google it, that Google's going to come up and say, and warn you that the website may damage your computer and they may not allow you access to it. So I really don't deal with it. I just go straight through Tom Moulton at GotGrit. He's on the ATM list also, and buy the pitch from him. It costs $15.50 per kilogram. I bought 2 kilograms. He combined the shipping on them for $9.99, so for just about 50 bucks, I got 2 kilograms of pitch. That should be more than sufficient to allow me to make my pitch lap. I'll be making it this weekend, and the next thing you're going to see on this tape, in all likelihood, is going to be my starting making the pitch lap. Hi, welcome back to my telescope workshop, where we're going to be talking a little bit more today about making a pitch lap. Today I've got my glass out, and before I pour the pitch lap, as we remember from a couple of moments ago, I had obtained my Google's 73. We have to clean off the tool. Now, cats really aren't a major part of that. They just seem to want to hang around optics workshops. I really don't know why. Cats are sort of high energy, high speed things, and as we all know, nothing good happens fast in an optics shop. Anything that happens fast in an optics shop is usually not good. What I did today was I finally found a good use for some old law journals, and I covered my telescope making stand with the law journals. I took out my 12.5-inch mirror, which I have ground down to a F7 using as small as 3 micron grit, and I'm now ready to polish it. But before I polish it, I need to clean it. And I've got a couple of tools here today to clean with. I've got a couple of brushes, some paper towels, and some turpentine. I love when you hold it like that. It feels like a 1960s soap commercial. First thing I'm going to do is I have one of these tools that I bought from Newport Glass many years ago, had it pre-generated, but these tools have some really great concentric circles in them. And the only problem with the concentric circles is they tend to